I'll try to keep microphone here kind of hard to type. Okay, for now I can use it. Yep, it's me again. I got 2 slots this time. So there's a new feature in ACS 4.19, which I always wondered why it wasn't there to begin with, which is a snapshot copy. Let's have a quick look at what it is and what we can do with it. It's a new feature that's very simple, but can be very, very powerful, and we'll see why. We had template copy in CloudStack since forever. I looked at GitHub, couldn't find when it was introduced. Does anyone know when template copy was introduced? Any chance?
3-something.
3-something, okay, so 3-4, the dawn of time. So everyone knows template copy. You just click there on a template, copy to another zone. So the idea was to do the same for snapshots. It works the same way. It's placed in a secondary storage, SSVM mounts it and serves it with a web server. The SSVM in the other zone just wget it. Same mechanism. This was implemented by my colleague, Apache, who did an amazing job. How long did it actually take you to implement this?
I guess 2.5 months, whole development cycle.
Yep, so not that much effort. He did a great job. It works really well. When you take a snapshot now, you can also select extra zones to copy your snapshot to. It's always taken on the parent zone, and then it's copied to other zone or zones. And that also works for recurring snapshots, the same process. And back there, the only limitation that you have there of how small the interval that you can use is how quickly can you take the snapshot, how quickly can you copy. So depends your bandwidth, capacity of SSVM. Using this heavily, probably need to spin lots more SSVMs than currently. Let's have a quick look what disaster recovery is. Very, very basic principle. There is disaster recovery products in every single platform, huge ecosystem. And so far, there wasn't in CloudStack. I got many questions through the years. If CloudStack can do DR, always had to say no. Now we can say yes. So what is disaster recovery? You have a website running from somewhere, then everyone knows what happened to OVH. It just burned down. Data center is down, your website's down, and you just want it running from somewhere else as soon as possible. That's the principle. So something infrastructure breaks, you move somewhere else as quickly as possible. That's all really. There are 2 very important principles there, RPO and RTO. RPO being how old your data is when you invoke disaster recovery, and RTO is how quickly you can bring your systems back. The shorter the interval you want, the more expensive it is. I built some solutions which was a matter of 30 seconds, the data synchronization, and that was extremely expensive. So this feature covers the days and weeks old data. To do something on the level of minutes, better look at a storage-based solution. And then Storpool had a presentation on that yesterday. You need a faster synchronization. But this feature, you can do days, weeks without a problem. And the RTO can be minutes, as we'll hopefully see in my demo. There are several types of DR. So DR as a service just orchestrated DR. You can go from DC to the cloud, from cloud to the cloud. You can go from one zone in a cloud to another zone in the same cloud, or from a cloud to DC. So what I'm presenting today covers just in cloud, between two zones in the same cloud. What do I want to fail over? Which of my VMs? What's really important for my business? I could potentially fail over an entire account, entire domain, or zone. In this case, my failure domain is a VPC. I have a 3-tier application running an online shop. That's it. That's what I want to move to another zone and get it up and running as quickly as possible. So my VPC is my application. Let's go through the process disaster recovery. First, a prerequisite, of course, is to set up the snapshot copy for all your VMs. So your DR zone has copies of the snapshots in place. I'm not going to cover that here. All my VMs are already set up snapshot copy. But that can be easily automated as well. So I have my 3-tier VPC running this shop, which I use my domain to make it look pretty. It breaks, my website's down. At some point, it's running. And you notice it originally running from London. London breaks, is running from Sofia, which is our 2 lab data centers. Let's go through the step-by-step process that I built. So the history of this. I want to write a quick script just to show how we could automate this. Got carried away and just wrote the entire thing. I quickly regretted to write it in Bash. So we'll be translating to something like Python at some point. But so far, it works nicely in Bash. So the steps for DR. When DR is invoked, I read all the information of the original VPC, which is all the subnets, everything, all details. I create a VPC in my DR zone with the same networks. I find the latest snapshot. I create templates, deploy VMs, create the port forwarding load balancing rules, and then DR is complete. And hopefully my site will be back up. First step, I fetch all the details of the original VPC and create the DR VPC, same subnets. And I have something a bit unique in my topology that we'll see later. Second step, I find the latest snapshot that is present in my DR zone for that particular VM, for every single VM in the VPC. And I just dump that in a list. Then the next step, another script, it converts those snapshots to templates. And then places that again in a list. And the last step is to start those VMs, create the VMs. So with the script, I read all the metadata of the VMs, of the templates, or the OS type, this, that, with its public extractable, all these details, and I create VMs with exactly the same. And let's see my topology. I have 3-tier VPC. Oh, I, of course, forgot to place the screenshot there, but you guys already saw it. And I built this. We have a range of public IPs. I peer upstream with my ISP. Then I have a router running in my zone in London, which actually runs from inside CloudStack. I deployed a MikroTik router in a shared network, and then created a public IP range dedicated to a customer that then goes to that router on the VLAN of that shared network. So that's a bit probably not very used, but I use that for several solutions for customers in the past, and being able to dedicate a public range to a customer, to an account or domain enables that. So I'm presented that 46.39.141 in both routers, in London and Sofia, but I have route filters that prioritize my main site. And why do I do that? If my main site goes down, that router also goes down. And then immediately, BGP swings over automatically. Now let's see the demo, see how that actually works. Let's assume that if that's gonna, oh, sorry. Nothing. It sounds like I just needed to say the word demo and things start breaking by themselves. So let's assume the demo is going to fail miserably. So I have my website here running from London, my beautiful shop, protected by ACS DRaaS as a service. I also have this, which is a health check, tells me where I'm running from. And here is my internet router. Let me queue the first site just to see how this works. Yep, well, of course, demos will fail. No, I just forgot to enable this. This should have been enabled. I was testing just for this, but see, now same URL, same IP is running from Sofia. This is just to test which site is alive. That's all. Let me re-enable. This is my internet router. Yep, things are running from London again. My website's up, all good. Now let's queue London. Not literally. Power off. Before that, I have a nice, pretty script that's there, checking if my site is up. If it goes down, it says it's down, sends an email, calls me, calls everyone in the company, whatever is needed, or it can invoke DR by itself. So let's turn London off. And let's queue the London router. Here you can see I have two routes to the same IP range that's presented in both. Higher metric to my DR site. Now shut this down. Oop, that disappears. Automatically, my active site should be Sofia. And it's down. So let's invoke DR. Now that I need to type. Do you mind holding? Thank you. Here I have all those scripts that I showed earlier. And I have a wrapper that calls all of them. So my parameters are my main site, the name of VPC, and my DR zone. So London, I forgot the name of the VPC. And one thing to note, I created all of these as an end user. No admin involved whatsoever. shop website, Sofia. So now let's see if demo works.
You missed the command.
Ooh, yes, that's kind of important. Thank you. There we go. Let me make this larger. Wrong OS. Type again. Let's time it, see how long it takes, the entire process as well. Check our RPO. So there it goes. It read all the data of the original VPC and is now creating VPC in the DRaaS zone. This step takes some 30 seconds because it's creating a new virtual router. We can see here the new VPC created. No networks yet. We need to wait for the virtual router to be up in the DR site. Let's leave CloudStack to do that. Suspense. Is it going to work? Is it not?
No, it's a demo.
No?
It's not going to work, it's a demo.
What? Want to bet?
Now in the background you're calling CloudMonkey basically, right?
Yes, it's bash calling CloudMonkey. I'm going to place this code in GitHub. I really want to translate this to Python and integrate as a CloudStack plugin. And I'm looking for volunteers. Anyone interested to collaborate on this, just hit me up. Ignore the errors, just because it iterates throughout snapshots. So let me go up a bit. So here, it created VPC. It created every single network, all the tiers. Then it finds the latest snapshot for each VM. I keep 5 snapshots. It finds the latest, because typically that's what you want to deploy. This error is because I forgot lots of extra snapshots in the file. Forgot to clean it up. But this doesn't affect anything. Then it's creating templates based on those snapshots. We can go here. Images. See, new templates. And then it's deploying the VMs. And hopefully, after they are deployed, my site will be running again. Yep, the VMs seem to be running. It's checking if the VMs are up, if the site is up, everything, before saying they are complete. And I should have left running my health check. Yep, health check says now the site's up, and yes, the site's up in the DR site. And that took demo work. And that took 2 minutes 27, and I had 3 sleeps of 10 seconds, so I could explain stuff. So 2 minutes to redeploy everything. Of course, there are limitations, bandwidth of SSVM, the time CloudStack takes to take snapshots, this and that. But there are many ways to optimize that. Not ideal for your database. If you had really an important database here, I'll be just syncing databases, have it running as a secondary passive database in the DR site. But for the web servers, application servers, yep, all good. Can be a daily snapshot, or weekly, you might just lose a couple patches. Or when you upgrade or change your application, then take a snapshot. It's going to find the latest anyway. Oh, that's it. Do we have questions?
Let me start. Does it work? Does it actually? This question comes on from online. Does it actually work for KVM as well?
A hypervisor
Agnostic.
doesn't really care. The snapshot copy works for all hypervisors, right, Abhi?
Yes.
Yep, just like template copy. So
Done.
Thank you, Alex. Nice show. Nice demo as well. Did you do a comparison to how it functions, how much the costs are, etc., when not doing disaster recovery but online duplication? Because basically what you're doing, you could do constantly without changing the IP. This could be running and making sure that the RPO is really short by constantly doing it.
yes, you can do that, but that typically involves some very expensive commercial solution. Ideally, yes, you wouldn't need DR. You do everything in the application level. But that's really ideal, just like we would all be running IPv6. And so in reality, legacy applications and even CloudStack itself can make use of this. You could potentially have CloudStack running CloudStack and fail over CloudStack. Why not?
If you consider, for example, to use in the future, I think is not enabled for now, maybe could be a proposal to the future, use an object store as a secondary storage. In that case, you'll be available for both sides, right?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, object storage doesn't work in CloudStack currently, but if it did, then yeah, it would be available for both sides, and we can speed the process up.
A question from Abhishek.
Right now, we copy a lot of data every time we copy a snapshot. So is there a way we can speed up that, optimize copying?
Yes, absolutely. And I actually built that in my previous job. I was downloading the templates and copying over and registering because you don't have snapshot copy. And to speed that up, I had 2 optimizers in the path. So it would load the keys, the encryption keys in the one optimizer, so we can decrypt, check against hash tables, then transfer just the new data, re-encrypt, and you continue. This is quite transparent. So we could potentially place one optimizer between the 2 SSVMs. They wouldn't even know that is really there. And then you copy just the difference. One interesting feature would be if you can dedicate a SSVM to a domain or account. So we have a dedicated one that also uses the public IPs dedicated to the same account. So the end user has full control of the entire flow.
So this is a very disaster recovery specific question, not with respect to snapshot copy per se. So if your main site comes up, is it ideal that we go back to moving all of the resources back to the main site, or our DR site becomes the main site?
That absolutely depends. If you just say use CloudStack, like my previous employer has 17 zones all around the world. You're running in London, your DR is Amsterdam. You fail over, but the service is the same quality, same cost. Then you just, this is now your main zone, and then London can be your DR zone. I also have a script that deletes all the DR resources or all the original resources. But if you really want to go back to your original zone, you can just delete all the resources in the original zone and do the reverse process with the same script.
All right, any other questions? Of course, Venko.
So we will publish, or can you publish your script? I understand that they are made just for the demo, but it will be a good example how user can implement this functionality.
Yes, absolutely. I need to finish the details of creating the port forwarding load balancing rules. That is static. I did cheat on that part, but just did not have enough sleepless nights to finish that. I will publish, and I want to translate to Python to make this more sustainable.
Regarding this point, doesn't it actually make more sense to rewrite it in Ansible, because there are more and more people using Ansible instead of Python?
Yeah, could use Ansible for that, absolutely. And use Python calling Ansible.
All right. Any?
Yep.
Lucian?
I'm open to ideas.
Right. One request, please leave it in Bash so we can all understand it. And two questions. What happened here is you've created a lot of stuff, and what I'm trying is to clarify. You did a lot of advanced stuff with BGP and VPCs, but am I correct in that in saying that this feature would also just enable you to recover from a disaster just with a simple VM in a simple isolated network or any kind of network?
Absolutely. So I could have done the failover with DNS, no need for BGP,
Okay.
but that would take 5 minutes to 1 hour. With BGP, it fails over in 0.3 seconds in networks which are close by. So if you need a failover, that's 1 second to a minute or a few minutes, use BGP. If you can handle 1 hour, then DNS. If you need less than 1 second, then you need to do in layer 2, which wouldn't work.
Absolutely. Okay, so just trying to clarify.
But, yes.
Everybody does it. How
The idea is that you can pass this parameter, isolate a network, a VPC, an account, a project, a domain, or a zone, anything.
Okay.
And fail over all those resources.
Okay, thank you. And another question is there any way to maybe optimize this whole flow and maybe skip having to turn the snapshot into template, then deploy the VM from template? Is there maybe a way to have an existing VM and that you could just revert to this snapshot?
On the original zone, you can do that.
I know, but
the copy you can't.
You can't revert, right? Okay.
Is that right, Abi? Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so
nothing stops us from implementing that as well.
But is it possible to? That would be maybe better. Is it possible then to deploy a VM with the root on this snapshot turned into a volume?
Potentially, yes.
But might be a little bit faster, maybe.
We can try it.
All right.
But converting to template doesn't take that long.
All right, guys. Thank you for the questions. We're out of time, unfortunately. One big round of applause for Alex.
Well, thank you, everyone. And we can discuss more questions later over some beers, or for the people online, just send me an email.